Cuts for workers that include something else that's turned out to be very popular, actually. It's called no tax on tips.
But actually, any big changes to tax law like that would have to go through Congress. It's in charge of writing and passing legislation. Also, any tax cuts Congress did approve would add to the federal deficit. Former President Trump didn't say how or if he would offset the cost of any new tax breaks if he were elected for a second term. He also said he could bring down inflation.
I will end the devastating inflation crisis immediately, bring down interest rates, and lower the cost of energy. We will drill, baby, drill.
Actually, the Federal Reserve is in charge of interest rates. Investors are betting on a Fed rate cut at its September meeting, but Fed Chair Jerome Powell won't give any timeline for cuts. Trump told Bloomberg that if he wins the election, he would allow Powell to finish his term as chair, especially, Trump said, quote, if I thought he was doing the right thing. Powell's term is set to end in 2026. I'm Nancy Marshall-Genzer for Marketplace.
A widespread tech outage is causing flights to be grounded, some live media broadcasts to shut down, and otherwise disrupting industries from healthcare to banking around the world. The website Down Detector, which tracks user-reported internet outages, recorded outages at Visa, ADT Security, and Amazon, and airlines including American, United, and Delta. Here's the BBC's technology editor, Zoe Kleinman, with the latest.
Some people are saying it's the biggest global outage that we've ever seen. I think it's potentially early days to call it that, but it does feel that way, doesn't it? Country after country, service after service, company after company. I think in some way it will probably affect your life at some point today. We are starting to understand a little bit more about what's happened now. It looks like it was an antivirus sort of update that was pushed through by a company called CrowdStrike. There's lots of people reporting that it's reacted very badly, I think it's fair to say, with devices running Microsoft software, which is, of course, loads of them, because millions of people and businesses around the world rely on Microsoft 365 to do their sort of office admin work. So it is looking pretty widespread. And, you know, often with these outages, as soon as you've sort of spotted them, they fixed themselves, haven't they? But that is definitely not the case here. We're seeing more and more problems. It's a sort of dominoes effect still fanning out. And even if the root problem itself is fixed, I think we are definitely looking at a few hours before everything's back to normal.
That was the BBC's Zoe Kleinman. American Airlines, by the way, has said just this morning it was able to reestablish its operations. Let's do the numbers. Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ futures are all down in the 1 to 0.2% range, with the Dow futures down 84 points.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Amazon Business, aiming to help save time by offering smart business buying solutions so there's more time to focus on growing the business and less time doing the admin. More at AmazonBusiness.com.
Alongside the Republican convention that ended in Milwaukee last night, there was a parade of endorsements by high-profile, outspoken tech billionaires backing Donald Trump for president. Tesla and social media platform X CEO Elon Musk pledged $45 million a month to a Trump-aligned super PAC. Other supporters include venture capitalists David Sachs, Mark Andreessen, Ben Horowitz, also Peter Thiel, co-founder of PayPal and former boss of Republican vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance. Silicon Valley was not always this outspoken, as Marketplace's Mitchell Hartman reports.
The flood of high-tech big names coming out publicly for Trump and the GOP is a sharp departure from Silicon Valley's past political practice.
In the 2010s, the industry didn't have a huge presence. They were happy to stay out of politics.
Princeton political historian Julian Zelizer says that changed as the sector grew and faced more political pushback from legislators and consumers. By 2020, tech was a big player, backing mostly Democrats. But this election cycle, Republicans are way in on the action, says Zelizer.
To spread their money everywhere, have more of a bipartisan presence so that everyone's in favor of them.
Support for Republicans from figures like Elon Musk and Peter Thiel comes from a strong libertarian hands-off-my-business ideology. But Zelizer says even CEOs who lean Democratic on social and environmental issues might back Trump for what they think he'll do for their bottom line.
Cutting taxes, deregulating for industry, and courting finance.
Still, tech CEOs rushing to the right aren't likely to bring their more liberal workers with them, says Sarah Briner at Open Secrets.
Rank and file Silicon Valley, I don't think is necessarily in the same pool as venture capitalist leader Silicon Valley. When you look at donations by people who aren't giving $1 million, they still heavily favor Democrats.
Endorsements by Musk and other celebrity CEOs could still influence the wider electorate. Political scientist Casey Dominguez at the University of San Diego remembers a key endorsement Barack Obama got back in 2008.
Oprah Winfrey, if we're talking about an astronomical level of celebrity, the tech CEOs, I don't think, reach those levels of celebrity or adoration.
Now, keep in mind, voters are also consumers who vote with their wallets.
There is a contingent attracted to someone like Elon Musk and his products, Teslas and things like that, but don't really like all of this other stuff that comes with it.
Americus Reed is a marketing professor at the Wharton School.
For someone to say, well, I'm not going to buy these products because they are soiled with political points of view that I don't agree with.
Reed thinks it'll take a lot more than conservative political endorsements and super PAC donations for that to happen. I'm Mitchell Hartman for Marketplace.
And in New York, I'm Sabri Ben-Achour with the Marketplace Morning Report. From APM, American Public Media.